Hey YouTube, what's happening? It's your boy Charm back again with another video. How y'all doing out there today? Me, I'm doing great. I'm sitting here waiting to get my last load. Got about 2 trucks in front of me. Hopefully we all get loaded and get up out of here. My last load. Ready to go home, you feel me? Today I want to talk about though these Peterbilt 579s, because you know here at this company we drive pretty much all Peterbilt 579s, except for we have a few internationals like the one over there, and we have one Kenworth that we hardly ever drive. Like I've driven it maybe twice in over a year, like a year and a half since I've been here. But yeah, these Peterbilt 579s. This is the, obviously the day cab version. And I don't know what it is with these trucks. I hear a lot of good stuff about Peterbilts. And every once in a while I hear a lot of bad stuff too, right? If you ask me, like my experience, this is only for the 579s. I've never driven any other kind of Peterbilt. I know those long noses look dope though. And we got a couple of those at our shop too, but those are for the guys that do the tanker. Like they go down to the fracking sites and do the tanking down there and stuff like that. I think they're actually owner operators. But yeah, so these Peterbilt 579s, I just want to go over a few things that I don't like about them. I don't know if these are just like the cheap Peterbilts or something like that. I don't know. Or maybe like the company like cheaped out on these particular trucks. I don't know. But here's a couple of things that I don't like about it. First of all, I'm gonna be a little picky. Look at these cup holders, man. Can y'all see that? The cup holders. You see, look, you got the gaps on the side. These things do not hold a bottle of anything. If you have a bottle of water, a pop, you hit a bump, it's coming off the sides. It's flying out of there. Even this can of Monster, look, it's almost empty now, but look, if I hit a bump or take a turn too sharp, it'll come all the way out. If this was empty, it's coming all the way out. What these are meant for is like a cup like this. It holds that fine, or a mug. And these are the slidable ones. I just don't understand that. Why you would make cup holders that shallow and with these cutouts on the side, or on both sides actually. I know why they have them on the sides like that. It's for mugs. Who really brings a mug of coffee to work like that? You know what I mean? When you're working 12, 14 hours a day. Usually it's gonna be a big cup like this or a thermos or something, right? So I don't understand these cup holders. Another thing with these is we seem to have a lot of electrical problems with them. This one for the most part seems fine. We do slip seating here, so we're not in the same truck every day. This one seems to be pretty fine, with the exception of our cruise control. See, this is our cruise control right here. We idle our trucks all the time. You see, this truck only has 316,209 miles on it. Really, that's not really that much for a truck. Now, mind you, these trucks do run probably about 20 to 24 hours a day. And when there's a driver in them, they don't get shut off. Like I'm sitting here right now waiting for my load and we idle them. They do have like an automatic shut off, but if we hit our, let's see, look, right now I just turned the idle off. But if we hit our cruise control, it'll idle it up. And then we also use that to dump too, most of us anyways. But when I was going down the highway this morning, what I noticed about this particular truck is I'm a cruise control driver. I ain't afraid to admit it. I'm a cruise control driver. Why? Because here we're on a speed gauge. We're only allowed to go 5 miles an hour over. Anything over than that for a minute, we're losing money. They're taking money from us. So I want to keep as much money in my pocket as possible. So I'm a cruise control driver when I'm working here, right? The thing about it, the cruise control, like say I'll have it set for 57 and like say I'm just leaving a red light or whatever, and I get up to about 35, 40, maybe 45 mile an hour, and I hit resume on the cruise control. In other words, I want it to go back up to 57 where I set it at. No, it'll automatically set to where whatever speed I'm driving at that time. You know, even though I'm not hitting the set, I'm hitting resume, right? Another thing with this truck, I had the windshield wiper set to a certain speed because it was raining this morning. And out of the blue, the windshield wipers just slowed down and stopped working. And I had to flip the switch higher and then lower it back down to get it back to the regular speed. Now, can y'all see that truck over there that's loading right now? I can't really show you too much, but the truck over there that's loading right now, I was just actually over there talking to him, and I was looking at his dash. His dash is all lit up. It's telling him he's got a critical tire deviation and all that kind of good stuff. You know, it's telling them there's something wrong with the tire. So, and he's kind of a newer guy, so I went ahead and went through his dash settings and went through to see where his faults were, his tire monitor. You see, mine are all green. That means I don't have any flat tires. Now, a lot of times they'll be grayed out. When they're grayed out, that's because the sensor went bad. We get that a lot here. And it'll give you a warning sign saying that you have a flat tire or you have a low tire. When in reality, it's just the sensor that went bad. You know what I mean? We get that a lot here. What else do we get a lot here? Hey, here's our one Kenworth. It's the only Kenworth we have here. The T880. It's an alright truck. I've driven it once. Everybody seems to burn the clutch up in that truck though. That's the only stick shift we have. Everybody seems to burn the clutch up in it for some reason. But yeah, so we seem to get a lot of electrical problems with these trucks. I don't know about anybody else. I've never driven a Peterbilt for anybody else. I've never driven a long nose Peterbilt, even though I want to though. I just want to try to drive. I've never driven a long nose anything. I want to try it though. But yeah, so with these trucks, we get a lot of electrical problems. Last week I was in a truck, and you know, I did my pre-trip and everything was fine. I get over here to the Coke plant, and it was real early in the morning, so it was still dark. And directly in front of us, where we line up, is our dispatch trailer, and it's got a window right there. So most of us, usually when we pull up, we'll turn our headlights off and just go with our parking lights while we sit here. And I did that, but then when it was my turn to load, I turned on my headlights. It's saying I got a burnt out low beam. So I changed it. I put a brand new bulb in there. It still wasn't working. So I go and tell my dispatcher, hey, I just put this new bulb in there. It's still burnt out. They asked me which truck I have. I tell him. He says, man, the wiring was just replaced in that truck last week. They was doing the exact same thing. So they're like, oh, well, apparently it's not the wiring. Something else needs changed in it. So, yeah, these Peterbilt 579s, we get a lot of electrical problems with them. Another thing with this particular truck, if I got a load on and I come to a stop and I go to take off, like say at a red light, I go to take off, sometimes it'll hesitate. It won't go. Like you'll have that pedal all the way down and it's just not moving. And sometimes it'll do it on the hill too, and you'll be rolling backwards. You got to stop, hit the brake, and then hit the pedal again. Now I'm not talking about going from neutral to drive. I'm talking about just coming from a stop, like stopping at a stop sign and trying to take off again. The seats, we give a lot of problem with these seats too. This seat's all right for the most part. But you see these two latches right here? One of them, I think it's this one, tilts the entire seat forward. And this one slides just the bottom part forward and backwards. And it was slid up too far for me. So I was trying to slide it back and I couldn't get that thing to pop so I could slide it. I had to pretty much like get out and kick it one time to get it to pop, and then, you know, push it with my hands to get it to slide back. We have another one and our company, you know, I don't like to badmouth our company too much, but when it comes to fixing our stuff, as long as it'll go down the road and pass the DOT inspection, they really ain't trying to fix it. We have one of these, the seat back does not latch. And what I mean by that, you see how this one is staying up like this? The other one, as soon as you're not sitting in it, boom, it folds. If you come to a stop, it's gonna fold you. We had to put a bungee across it. And you know, the bungee still don't hold it too tight, but you know, that's just some of the stuff we're dealing with right here in these 579s. Now, I'm not saying this is all Peterbilts. I'm not saying this is all 579s even. I'm saying this just seems to be the ones that we get. Or the ones that we have. And honestly, these trucks aren't that old. I think these are 2020s, I think. Maybe 2021s. I started working here in... When did I start here? I started working here in 2021. We had these trucks already. And somebody said they just got them like a couple years prior, a year prior, or something like that. As far as that, that's all I can think about right now on these trucks. They have the Cummins engine, of course. And please don't get it twisted. I am no mechanic. I don't know too much about, the mechanics of these trucks and stuff like that. I'm not even going to pretend like I do. I'm not going to front, period. You know what I'm saying? I'm what some super truckers would call a steering wheel holder, and I'm proud of it because that's what I get paid to do. I don't get paid to work on these trucks. I don't get paid to wrench on them. I get paid to hold the steering wheel and drive. So, yeah, that's that on that. Yeah, that's pretty much all I can think of on that. I just wanted to make this quick video for y'all though, while I was sitting here waiting. I'm about to eat a little bit of food though before I load. I'm the next to load. He's topping off right now because he must have been a little light, so he's gonna add a little more to his trailer. And then I'm next, and I'm gonna beat up this highway, get up to Cleveland, dump the stuff off, and get back and enjoy the rest of my day. It's gonna be a weightlifting day for me today. Woo, can't wait. You see that little muscle pop? I know y'all seen that. As soon as I said lift weights, the muscle got happy. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, I hope y'all have a great day. Oh, yeah, and tell me in the comment section, man, what's y'all favorite trucks to drive? I really haven't got a chance to drive too many different trucks. Let's see. I started out with Hogan. I started out driving a Pro Star. I hated it, mainly because they had me in an older one. And this was like right around the time they were having the problems with those, the Max Force engines. So I really hated it. And let's see. So Hogan, I drove a Pro Star. I left Hogan and I went to Western Express for a while, where I drove a Freightliner Cascadia. And I actually kind of liked it. It was all right. You know what I mean? Once I left Western Express, I went to Jordan Carriers down in Natchez, Mississippi. What did I have down there? I had a Volvo. And actually I had driven a Volvo before when I was at Hogan. My truck broke down on me in the mountains of Pennsylvania somewhere in the middle of winter. And and I had to have like a rental truck, a loaner, and it was a Volvo. And I loved it. Man, that's like a Cadillac, bro. Rolling down the highway. Woo wee, sweet. I was purling. I was purling in the Volvizi, bro. So when I got to Jordan Carriers down in Natchez, Mississippi, the flatbed company, I had a Volvo there too. Nice, man, just nice. They just ride, right? So when I left there, I went to Holland, USF Holland, and I was supposed to be in another Freightliner, but they want to have me doing dock work and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's not why I got a CDL to do dock work. I got a CDL to drive trucks, right? Not to be freezing my butt off on a dock driving a forklift, no. So I left Holland, USF, and I went to, where did I go after? I went to US Express, and I had a 2019 Freightliner Cascadia there. pretty nice, you know, nice. It was nice. I ain't even gonna lie. It was nicer than the one that I had at Western Express, only because the one at Western Express was a little older. I think it was like a 15 or a 14. So when I left US Express, I took a year off. I went back to college, right? And then when I decided to come back to trucking, because I figured out, you know, by this time I'm going to be making the same amount of money in trucking as I would if I finished school to be a physical therapist assistant. That's what I was going to school for. I was going to be a physical therapist assistant. They make around $70,000 a year. And I got my W-2 from this company, which is Big Blue. I got it yesterday, so I'm going to make a video on how much I actually made in a year being a local truck driver, right? So there's that. Yeah, so I went back after I did my year of college, you know, and I had that epiphany. I went back to Hogan, only because they had a little local route out of Austinburg, which is probably like an hour from my house. And I know Hogan gets a bad rap because they got low pay, but for new drivers or somebody trying to come back into driving, their training is phenomenal because they're going to make sure you're trained up and you could drive, right? So after I was in another Pro Star, and then I left Hogan and came here, right? And then, as y'all know, I left here for 2 months and went to Cisco, which they had us driving Freightliners and Max. I don't like Max, especially those newer ones with that collision mitigation system, where if somebody cuts you off and they're too close in front of you, it's cutting your radio off. It's going to keep beeping and beeping and beeping and slamming on brakes. I hate that shit. Not all of us need that, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm not a big fan of Max, and it's my turn to load, so I gotta go. It's your boy Charm. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, holler at me. Let me know down in the comment section which y'all favorite truck to drive. Mine is the Volvo, the VNL. Holla at your boy. Peace.